Hey there lovely lady, my name is Emily Jennings-Donhardt. I am the owner of BAYSIDE Lashes and BAYSIDE Lashes Academy here in Melbourne, Victoria. So in today's video I will be answering the question if lash extensions damage your natural lashes. This is a huge topic, so I'm going to try and keep this as sweet and simple as possible. So I'm sure that you've had a friend or someone you know get her lashes done and then she's come to you and said that all of her natural lashes have fallen out, her natural lashes got really damaged, something like that. I hear these stories all the time. These stories are very common. It's experiences like these which have given the lash industry a very bad reputation. That is not the case everywhere though. Unfortunately, lash extensions is a very, very unregulated industry, especially here in Australia, where even the nationally recognised training and standard is actually extremely poor. Now, a quick disclaimer before I really get into the video. I'm not shaming any other lash technician. I'm not saying what they do is bad and what I do is the best or anything like that. That's not the case at all. Every lash technician has their own style of doing things. Their style represents their brand, their overall aesthetic, what they stand for, etc. So yeah, I'm not shaming anyone. I'm not saying what anyone is doing is bad. But this video is just for educational purposes only. This is a super common question. Do lash extensions damage your natural lashes? Overall, there really isn't a yes or no answer for this. It really depends on where you go to get your lashes done. It is possible to get your lashes done without ever needing a break and without having any damage to your natural lashes. So before I talk about what damage-free is, I really want to talk about what actually makes lash extensions damaging and what are the ways where I've seen technicians damage people's natural lashes. And I also want to talk about what damaging lashes actually look like as well, so then you will be able to tell the difference between what a damaging set looks like versus a non-damaging set. Have you ever seen those girls where the first thing you notice about them is their lashes? They look super, super long, they look very thick, and they almost look like they're just way too heavy for their eyes. Well, in most cases, the lash extensions that they have on are actually way too heavy for their eyelashes. Most of the time, these women have a lot of damage underneath these extensions. Now, another quick disclaimer, I'm not saying that that looks bad. Some people really love that look, so if you love that look, that's fine, you do you. Again, this video is purely just for educational purposes only. So there are many ways where lash extensions can damage your natural lashes, and the most common that I see are people applying the lash extensions too long, too thick and too heavy for the natural lashes to support, applying lash extensions way too close to the lash line, poor isolation, which will result in lots of stickies. I will explain what stickies are in a moment, using too much glue and using poor quality products. Applying lash extensions that are too long or too thick. My old boss gave me a really great analogy to this, where imagine a hippo standing at the end of a diving board. The diving board will get way too heavy, it will start to droop where it eventually breaks. It's a very similar scenario for our lashes. If your lash extensions are too long and too heavy, your natural lashes will start to droop, and those extensions will actually be pulling at the follicle, causing the lashes to be actually prematurely pulled out of the follicle in your eye. So the general rule of thumb is that the lash extensions should not be any longer than 2 millimeters longer than your natural lash. The longer you go, the finer in diameter you have to go as well. So applying lash extensions too close to the lash line, this can cause micro tears. It can cause the lash extensions to scratch against the eye and cause a lot of irritation. And if the lash extensions have actually been applied to the skin, which is a big no-no in lash extensions, if it has been applied to the skin, then you will most likely end up resulting in an infection or swelling of the eyes, a lot of redness, and it will be extremely painful for you. Poor isolation resulting in stickies. So stickies are where multiple lashes have been stuck together. Every single lash is in its own phase of the shedding cycle. So if you don't know what a shedding cycle is, I'll really quickly run through it. Same as how you notice the leaves on trees start to shed, or how your pets shed, the same happens to the hair all over our body. Depending on whereabouts the hair is on the body will depend how long the shedding cycle goes for. For example, the hair on the top of our head, it will take years for it to go through a full shedding cycle, whereas our lashes usually take about 6 weeks to go through the whole shedding cycle approximately. And this can speed up or slow down depending on factors like your age, what season we're in, any medications, or even just any general lifestyle factors as well. So there are 3 stages in the shedding cycle, one being the anagen phase, which is also referred to as baby lashes, 2 being the catagen phase, which can be referred to as teenage lashes or the active phase, and there's telogen, which is referred to as the adult phase or the resting phase. It can also be referred to as dead hair, because telogen is pretty much dead hair sitting there about to shed. Whenever you notice your lash extensions coming off, falling off with your shedding cycle, you should notice it having a natural lash attached. And if your lashes are being applied in a sustainable way, this should be attached to a telogen hair which has fallen out. And once that telogen hair falls out, the anagen hair will then come through and the cycle will repeat itself. So if pore isolation has been used on your lashes, to give an example, if an anagen and a catagen lash get stuck together, as that catagen or teenage lash is growing, it's actually pulling that baby lash out with it. And when that baby lash comes out, it is coming out way too prematurely. This over time will cause a lot of damage, because each time that happens, it's damaging that follicle. And it can take up to 12 weeks before that lash actually even begins to start showing through the surface again. And if this happens on multiple occasions, each time that lash finally comes through will be finer and finer and finer until it may eventually not even grow back at all. So to put it into perspective as well, do you remember when back in the day it was the thing to tweeze your eyebrows to have these really thin pencil eyebrows? And now fast forward, when bushy eyebrows are the thing, no one can actually get their brows to grow back because they tweezed those hairs out so much where those hairs are now not growing back at all. The same thing can happen to our lashes if lash extensions which are too heavy are being applied and pulling those lashes out prematurely. And if the same thing is happening to your lashes, over time you're going to end up with nothing to even apply lash extensions to. Pore isolation can also interfere with our natural lash's primary job, which is to protect our eyeballs from outside factors like debris, dust in the air, dead skin, sleep, all that stuff. That is what our natural lash's primary job is, to protect our eyeballs from these harmful outside factors. When pore isolation is used, it almost creates a bit of a plate because there's no air or gaps in between those natural lashes. Over time, those things which our eyelashes are trying to protect our eyeballs from, they're going to build up on top of each other and increase your risk for an infection. The most common eye infection is one called blepharitis. I won't go too much into blepharitis because that's a huge subject. So if you do want to hear more on that, please let me know and I'll make another video on it. Using too much glue. So using too much glue will add excess weight to the natural lash and also increase your chance of getting stickies. And also using poor quality products on your eyes. If you have lash extensions on and they feel heavy, they feel like they're pulling at your eyes, they feel itchy, or your eyes are sore during and after getting your lashes done, it's most likely a sign that you actually are having lash extensions applied in a not sustainable way. If you are worried that you might be developing an allergy to lash extensions, please go see your GP straight away. With clients not following aftercare can also cause damage to their natural lashes. So you could have lash extensions applied in a sustainable way, or you could have no lash extensions at all, but you as a person have the capability to damage your own natural lashes. If they're pulling at their lashes constantly, vigorously rubbing at their eyes, all that stuff, that can all contribute, even if you don't have any lash extensions on. Now, I know all of that sounds pretty scary, and I promise that's not the case everywhere. If you go to someone where they practice sustainable lash application, you will not have any of these issues. So, what makes damage-free or sustainable lashes? Damage-free is also known as sustainable lash application. Pretty much means where your natural lash health is your technician's #1 priority over everything else. I will turn clients down if they want something that I know that they cannot support and will damage their lashes. Sustainable lash application, as the name implies, is where the lash extensions are applied in a sustainable way. This is done by the following. The lengths and diameters used are carefully selected to cater to each and every single natural lash. And as I mentioned earlier, every single natural lash is different. This is to ensure that the lash extensions do not overweigh your natural lashes. The natural lash is isolated and one extension is applied per natural lash for classics. The most sustainable way for rushing volume is to hand make the fans as you go. With pre-mades, there'll be 3 lashes in 0.07. They've already got glue on them, so that's already adding extra weight, and then you're dipping it in the glue again and then putting it on the lash, so it makes it more heavy. There are ways to apply pre-made lashes in a sustainable way, but not everyone does. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, I'm not shaming anyone that does use pre-mades, because there are definitely sustainable ways to use pre-mades. I personally hand make my fans as I go. They do take longer to do, but it's the best thing to do to ensure that each fan is catered to every individual natural lash. So not only is the natural lash isolated really well, but also the appropriate glue usage is used, because too much glue again can add that excessive weight and also increase your chance of stickies. This is to ensure that every single lash can grow as per their shedding cycle without affecting any of their neighbouring lashes. So thorough check throughs are done throughout and at the end of every service. New sets or refills, there's always a check through done. And this is done by, again, isolating each and every natural lash and getting your tweezers and moving them up in between the lashes, just to make sure that there are no neighbouring lashes that have maybe stuck on there, or just to make sure that there are no stickies. In-depth consultations are done prior to the lash service, along with assessing your eye area to ensure that there are strictly no contraindications that may make it unsafe for application due to a higher risk of infection or irritation to the eye or surrounding eye area. If you as a client are getting lash extensions done in a sustainable and damage-free way, this will mean that you will not need to have a break from your lashes, because the lash extensions should not be having any effect on your natural lashes whatsoever. If your lash technician is advising you that you do need a break, most likely the lashes that you have applied are not being applied in a sustainable way, because if there was no natural lash damage or signs of damage present, then you would not need to have a break in the first place. If you decide to continue to stay in this habit where you get your lashes done, have a break when your lash tech tells you to have a break, get them done, have a break, and continue to do that, over time, like I mentioned earlier, that follicle will become weaker and weaker. The lashes growing back slow down. It eventually then gets finer and finer. So there is a lot more that goes into creating a sustainable and damage-free lash set. For the purpose of this video, I'm only covering the basics. My clients tell me all the time after I do their lashes that they don't actually feel the lashes on their eyes. When they open their eyes don't feel any different to how they usually do. And that is how it should be. If you want your lashes done in a sustainable way, your lash extensions, you shouldn't even feel that you have lash extensions on your eye, besides when you look in the mirror and you see these beautiful lashes. But other than seeing them in the mirror, your lash extensions should feel like nothing on your eyes. So what does a damage-free or sustainable lash set look like?
So you can see here in this photo, which is another hybrid set which I have done, that the lashes applied again do not exceed that 2 millimeters longer than her natural lashes. The lash extensions are the appropriate width away from her lash line. You can see as well that her eyes are not red or showing any signs of irritation as well. The diameters of the lash extensions used as well are not going to harm her natural lashes at all. So this is a classic set which I have done. So you can see all the gaps in between the lashes, which show there are absolutely no stickies. I've used the appropriate lengths. I have also used the appropriate thicknesses as well. And once again, you can see that her eyes are not red in any way or showing any signs of irritation. As you can see as well, there are absolutely no clumps or anything. Everything looks clean. And so this will ensure that as her natural lashes start to grow, they will not affect or harm her natural lashes in any way. I also want to point out that there is no one size fits all with lash extensions. Each set of lashes is made to cater to the individual person on the look they like, their lifestyle, their eye shape, and many other factors, with the most important one being what their natural lashes can safely support.
So at every appointment with me, I take photos before and after of every refill, of every new set, and I also compare these photos to when I first started doing this client's lashes. 10 out of 10 times their natural lashes are in the exact same healthy condition, if not better than what they were when they first originally started seeing me. So to conclude today's video, if you are wanting to maintain the health and integrity of your natural lashes, please make sure you do your research and find a lash artist which practices in sustainable lash application. So this video today was only covering the basics. So if there was anything I missed out or any questions that you might have, please let me know in the comments or send me a message. So if you enjoyed this video today and if you would like to see more videos similar to this one, please like this video, and if you could leave a comment and share this video, that would also be very much appreciated. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I really hope that you enjoyed it and you learned something from it, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.